I need to be honest with you. I've been shopping at Walmart for over 15 years, and I just found out something that made my stomach drop. Corporate leaked an internal memo last week confirming 14 household products are getting phased out by 2026, and some will be gone before March hits. While everyone is scrolling past this thinking they'll just grab it later, I'm telling you right now, stores are already adjusting inventory. They just quietly stop restocking until shelves are empty, and by the time you notice, it's too late. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now because I'm going to be tracking which stores still have stock on these items, and I'll be updating you in the community tab. You don't want to miss those alerts. Let's get into it. Product number 1 is Bounty Basic Paper Towels. Yeah, I know this sounds boring, but stay with me. Bounty Basic, not the regular Bounty, the basic line, is getting discontinued. I confirmed this with 3 different store managers in my area. Walmart is consolidating their paper towel selection to focus on higher margin products. Here's why this matters. Bounty Basic costs about $1.50 less per pack than regular Bounty, but it's made in the same factories with nearly identical quality. The only difference is slightly less fancy packaging and maybe 10% less absorbency that honestly nobody notices. I've been buying Bounty Basic for 7 years. Look, grocery prices are rising faster than most people can keep up with. I have done the math for you and put together a free emergency pantry blueprint that lists the exact 15 items you must keep, which you can buy from any store. It can feed your family for 2 weeks and cost less than takeout. You can grab the list for free at the link in description so you can stop worrying and start prepping. Product number 2 is Great Value Freezer Bags, the slider kind. Number 2 caught me completely off guard. Great Value Slider Freezer Bags, not the regular zip-closed ones, specifically the slider style. I use these constantly. Meal prep, freezing leftovers, organizing random stuff in my garage. They're perfect and dirt cheap compared to Ziploc, but Walmart is cutting them from the lineup. A distribution manager I know told me the slider mechanism has higher defect rates and customer returns. So corporate decided the juice isn't worth the squeeze. They're keeping the regular zip-closed style, but killing the sliders. Product number 3 is HyperTuff brand hand tools. All right, number 3 is going to surprise a lot of people. HyperTuff hand tools. This is Walmart's budget tool line, and it's been a staple for casual DIYers and apartment dwellers who need basic tools without spending a fortune. But corporate is phasing it out to make room for Heart Tools, which is their mid-tier brand. Here's the deal. HyperTuff screwdrivers, hammers, pliers, and wrenches are cheap, like really cheap. A 6-piece screwdriver set costs $5. The same thing in Heart branding costs $12. And honestly, for basic home use, the quality difference is minimal. I've used HyperTuff tools for years. Changed doorknobs, assembled furniture, fixed random stuff around the house. Never had an issue. But Walmart wants to push customers into the higher price Heart line because, you guessed it, better profit margins. I talked to a tool department associate who's been there 12 years. He said HyperTuff inventory is not being replenished. Whatever's on the shelf now is it. By March, most stores will be completely cleared out. Product number 4 is Equate nicotine gum. Number 4 is huge if you or someone you know is trying to quit smoking. Equate nicotine gum. This is Walmart's generic version of Nicorette, and it's getting discontinued. I confirmed this with a pharmacy manager last week. The reason is supply chain complexity. Nicotine replacement products have strict FDA regulations, and Walmart apparently decided the hassle isn't worth it for the store-brand version. They're keeping name-brand Nicorette, but killing Equate. Here's what makes this brutal. Equate nicotine gum costs about $22 for 100 pieces. Nicorette costs $45 for the same amount. That's more than double. For someone trying to quit smoking, this is a massive financial hit. Nicotine replacement therapy works, but it requires consistent use over several weeks or months. The cost difference between generic and name brand can literally determine whether someone can afford to quit or not. I have a friend who quit smoking 2 years ago using Equate gum. He went through about 6 boxes over 3 months. At Equate prices, that cost him $132. If he had to use Nicorette, it would have been $270. That extra $138 could have been a deal breaker. Current stock levels are already dropping. I checked 5 Walmart locations in my area, and 3 were completely out. The other 2 had limited flavors and quantities. If you're planning to quit smoking or know someone who is, stock up now. Nicotine gum has a shelf life of about 2 years when stored properly. Keep it in a cool, dry place, and it'll maintain effectiveness. This is one of those phase-outs that's going to hurt real people trying to make positive health changes. Don't get caught off guard. Product number 5 is Great Value canned vegetables in the 29-ounce size. All right, number 5 sounds super random, but it's going to impact how you shop. Great Value canned vegetables in the 29-ounce size, not the small 14.5-ounce cans, specifically the large 29-ounce ones. Walmart is discontinuing them to simplify inventory. I learned this from a grocery stocker who's worked there for 8 years. He said corporate did an analysis and found that the 29-ounce size had the slowest turnover rate, so they're killing it to free up shelf space for faster-moving items. Here's why this is frustrating. The 29-ounce cans are the best value per ounce. You pay maybe 20 cents more than the small, can but get literally double the food. For families or anyone doing meal prep, the large cans make way more sense. I use them constantly. 1 can of green beans feeds my family as a side dish for dinner. With the small cans, I'd need 2, which costs more and creates more waste. But Walmart doesn't care about value for customers. They care about inventory velocity and profit per square foot of shelf space. Once the 29-ounce cans are gone, you'll be forced to buy multiple small cans or switch to frozen vegetables, which cost more. Here's the current situation. Stock levels vary wildly by location. Some stores still have decent inventory, while others are down to just a few cans of corn and nothing else. I personally loaded up last week. Grabbed 24 cans of various vegetables: green beans, corn, peas, carrots. Cost me about $30, but at current prices for the small cans, the same amount of food would cost me around $42. Storage is simple. Canned goods last for years. Keep them in a cool, dry place. Rotate through them naturally, and you'll save money while having convenient meal options ready. If you're a canned vegetable user, hit your local Walmart this week. Check the bottom shelves where they usually stock the large cans. Grab what you need before they're gone. Product number 6 is Mainstays fleece blankets. Number 6 is perfect timing with winter here. Mainstays fleece blankets. These are those soft, lightweight fleece throws that Walmart sells for about $4 each. They've been a staple for years. College students buy them. People keep them in their cars. They're perfect for camping or just having extras around the house. But they're getting discontinued to make room for higher-end bedding options. I noticed this last month. The Mainstays fleece section had shrunk dramatically. I asked the home goods manager, and she said corporate want to focus on their Better Homes and Gardens brand, which sells similar blankets for $12 to $15. It's the same pattern we keep seeing. Kill the cheap option. Force customers into the expensive alternative. Here's what makes this annoying. The Mainstays fleece blankets are genuinely good. They're not luxury items, but they're warm, soft, and durable. I've had the same one in my car for 3 years. Washed it probably 20 times. Still looks fine. For $4, they're incredible value. But soon, if you want a basic fleece throw from Walmart, you'll be paying 3 times more for something that's only marginally better. I grabbed 6 blankets last week. 2 for my car, 2 for guests, and 2 as backups. Total cost, $24. If I waited until Mainstays is gone and bought Better Homes and Gardens instead, the same 6 blankets would cost $72. Think about uses beyond just home. Keep one in your car for emergencies. Donate them to homeless shelters. Use them for outdoor events or camping. At $4 each, they're cheap enough to have multiples for different purposes. Inventory is getting sparse. I've checked several stores, and most have less than a dozen left in stock. Colors are limited, mostly basic blue, gray, and burgundy. Once they're gone, that's it. If you've been thinking about grabbing a few extra blankets, don't wait. Product number 7 is Equate cotton swabs in the 1,000 count box. Number 7 is a bathroom staple that's disappearing. Equate cotton swabs in the 1,000 count box. Walmart is keeping the smaller 500 count boxes, but discontinuing the large 1,000 count size. The reason, according to an insider I talked to, is that the 1,000 count box takes up too much shelf space relative to sales volume. Again, it's about optimizing space for higher margin items. Here's the value you're losing. The 1,000 count box costs about $3.47. The 500 count box costs $2.24. If you buy two 500 count boxes to equal 1,000 swabs, you're paying $4.48. That's $1 more for the same product just because of packaging size. Over time, that adds up. Cotton swabs don't expire. You can buy the 1,000 count box now and use it for a year or more. No special storage needed. Just toss it under your bathroom sink. I use cotton swabs for everything. Cleaning electronics, applying first aid ointment, touching up paint, and yes, cleaning ears even though doctors say you shouldn't. A 1,000 count box lasts my household about 8 months. At current prices, buying a large box saves me about $1.50 per purchase. That's $2.25 per year. Not huge, but it's literally free money for zero extra effort. Current stock levels are okay for now, but once Walmart stops ordering them, they'll disappear quickly. Some stores have already started reducing shelf space for the large boxes. If you see them, grab 2 or 3. They're small enough that storing extras is no big deal. And look, I know we're talking about cotton swabs. It's not exciting, but this is exactly how companies quietly extract more money from you. They remove the cost-effective option, and you don't even notice you're paying more until months later. Product number 8 is Great Value AA and AAA batteries in bulk packs. All right, number 8 is going to impact every single household. Great Value AA and AAA batteries in the bulk packs of 48 or more. Walmart is discontinuing the large bulk packs and keeping only the smaller packs of 24 or less. I learned about this from an electronics department manager. Corporate analyzed sales data and decided that most customers buy smaller packs, so the bulk packs aren't worth the inventory space. Here's the problem. The bulk packs are by far the best value. A 48 pack of AA batteries costs about $11. That's roughly 23 cents per battery. The 24 pack costs $7.50, which is 31 cents per battery. You're paying 35% more per battery just because you're buying a smaller quantity. Batteries are something every household uses constantly. TV remotes, game controllers, flashlights, kids' toys, smoke detectors, wireless keyboards. The demand never stops. And with rechargeable batteries, you still need regular alkaline batteries for certain devices, and as backups. I stocked up 2 months ago before I knew they were being discontinued. Grabbed 3 48 packs of AAs and 2 48 packs of AS. Cost me about $55 total. That's 240 batteries that will last my household at least 2 years. If I had to buy 24 packs instead, the same number of batteries would cost me about $75. That's $20 saved for buying exactly the same product, just in larger packaging. Storage is easy. Batteries don't take up much space. Keep them in a cool, dry place, and they maintain charge for years. I use a plastic bin in my utility closet. Everything organized by type and size. Current availability is mixed. Some stores still have bulk packs, but inventory isn't being replenished. Once current stock sells out, it's done. Check your local Walmart now. If they have bulk packs, grab them. This is one of those purchases that feels like a lot up front, but saves you money and hassle for years. Product number 9 is Reynolds Wrap aluminum foil in the 500 square foot roll. Number 9 is a kitchen staple that's been around forever. Reynolds Wrap aluminum foil in a 500 square foot roll. Walmart is discontinuing this size to focus on smaller rolls and store brand options. I confirmed this with a grocery manager who said Reynolds is reducing the number of SKUs they offer to retailers, and Walmart chose to drop the largest size. Here's why this is frustrating. The 500 square foot roll costs about $22 and lasts forever. The smaller 200 square foot rolls cost about $9 each. If you buy 3 smaller rolls to equal 600 square feet, you're paying $27 for less foil than you get in 2 large rolls for $44. The per square foot cost on the large roll is significantly better. I use aluminum foil constantly, lining baking sheets, covering leftovers, wrapping food for grill, and a million other uses. A 500 square foot roll lasts my household about 8 months. But soon, I'll be forced to buy the smaller rolls more frequently, which means more trips to the store and higher overall cost. Last month, I grabbed 2 500 square foot rolls. That's about 16 months of supply for me. Total cost, $44. If I had to buy equivalent coverage in smaller rolls, I'd spend about $60 over the same period. Here's a pro tip. Aluminum foil doesn't go bad. It doesn't expire or degrade. You can stock a 5-year supply right now, and it'll be perfectly fine when you use it. Inventory is disappearing. I've checked 4 stores in the past week. 2 were completely out, and the other 2 had only 1 roll each. If you're a heavy foil user, this is your last chance to stock the large size at reasonable prices. Once they're gone, you'll be paying more per square foot forever. Product number 10 is great value ibuprofen in the 500 count bottle. Number 10 is critical for medicine cabinets. Great value ibuprofen in the 500 count bottle. Walmart is discontinuing this size and keeping only the smaller 200 count and 100 count bottles. A pharmacy staff member told me this is about theft prevention and inventory management. The large bottles are targets for shoplifters, and Walmart decided they're not worth the security hassle. Here's what you're losing. The 500 count bottle costs about $9. That's less than 2 cents per pill. The 200 count bottle costs $5.50, which is 2.75 cents per pill. To get 500 pills, you need to buy 3 200 count bottles for $16.50. That's $7.50 more for the same amount of medicine. Ibuprofen is something every household needs. Headaches, muscle pain, fevers, inflammation. It's one of the most commonly used over-the-counter medications, and it has a shelf life of several years when stored properly. I keep a 500 count bottle in my medicine cabinet at all times. It lasts my family about 18 months. At $9, it's one of the best deals in healthcare. But once the size is discontinued, I'll be forced to pay significantly more for the same medication just in smaller bottles. Last week, I bought 2 500 count bottles. That's a 3-year supply for about $18. If I had to buy 200 count bottles instead over 3 years, I'd spend around $33. That's $15 saved just for buying the larger size before it disappeared. Store ibuprofen in a cool, dry place away from light. The bathroom medicine cabinet is actually not ideal because of humidity. I keep mine in a bedroom closet. Check the expiration date. But in my experience, ibuprofen remains effective well beyond the printed date if stored properly. Stock levels are already low. Most stores have only a few bottles left, if any. If you see them, grab at least one. This is a genuine money saver that's about to disappear. Product number 11 is great value trash bags in the contractor grade 42-gallon size. Number 11 is for anyone who generates regular household trash. Great value contractor grade trash bags in 42-gallon size. These are the heavy-duty bags that don't rip or tear even with rough garbage. Walmart is discontinuing them to simplify their trash bag lineup and push customers toward the regular duty flex bags. I learned this from a chemical goods stocker. Corporate wants to reduce the number of trash bag varieties they carry, and the contractor grade line has the lowest sales volume, so it's getting cut. Here's the issue. Contractor grade bags are legitimately stronger. If you've got kids, if you do yard work, or if you just generate heavy trash, regular bags rip constantly. You end up double bagging, which means you're actually using more bags and spending more money. The contractor grade 42-gallon bags cost about $14 for a box of 50. That's 28 cents per bag. They're thick, durable, and I've never had one tear on me. Compare that to regular flex bags that rip half the time, and you're actually saving money despite the higher upfront cost. Last month, I bought 4 boxes. That's 200 bags, which for my household is about 2 years of supply. Total cost, $56. But think about what I'm avoiding. I'm not going to be forced into buying inferior bags that rip and require double bagging. I'm not going to deal with garbage juice leaking onto my garage floor. Current stock is hit or miss. Some stores still have decent inventory, while others are down to just a few boxes. Colors and styles are limited, mostly black, some white. If your Walmart still has them, don't hesitate. These are one of those products you don't think about until they're gone, and then you realize how much better they were than the alternative. Trash bags don't go bad. Store them in a garage, basement, or closet. They take up minimal space, and you'll thank yourself every week when you're taking out garbage that doesn't rip. Product number 12 is great value distilled white vinegar in the 2.5-gallon jug. Number 12 is a cleaning essential that's disappearing. Great value distilled white vinegar in the 2.5-gallon jug. Walmart is discontinuing this size and keeping only the 1-gallon and smaller bottles. The reason is straightforward. Large jugs take up significant shelf space and have slower turnover compared to smaller sizes. So corporate decided to eliminate them. Here's why this matters. Distilled white vinegar is incredibly versatile. You can use it for cleaning, cooking, laundry, unclogging drains, removing odors, and about 100 other household tasks. It's non-toxic, cheap, and effective. The 2.5-gallon jug costs about $5. That's $2 per gallon. The 1-gallon bottles cost $2.50 each. To get 2.5 gallons, you'd pay $6.25 in smaller bottles. You're paying 25% more for the exact same product just because of container size. I use vinegar constantly. I clean my coffee maker with it. I add it to laundry for odor removal. I use it to clean windows and mirrors. I even use it in cooking for certain recipes. A 2.5-gallon jug lasts me about 6 months. Last week, I grabbed 2 jugs. That's a year of supply for $10. If I had to buy 1-gallon bottles instead, the same amount would cost me $12.50. It's not a huge savings, but it's free money for literally zero extra effort. Storage is simple. Vinegar doesn't expire. Keep the jug in a pantry, laundry room, or garage. It's shelf-stable indefinitely. I decant smaller amounts into spray bottles for easy use, but keep the big jug as my refill reservoir. Current availability is dropping. I've checked multiple stores, and most have either no large jugs or only 1 or 2 left. Once they're gone, you'll be stuck buying smaller, more expensive bottles forever. If you use vinegar regularly for cleaning or other household tasks, grab a couple jugs now. This is one of those quiet phase-outs that'll annoy you 6 months from now, when you realize you're paying more for the same thing. Product number 13 is Equate Sleep Aid in the 192-count bottle. Number 13 is important for anyone who occasionally needs sleep help. Equate Sleep Aid in the 192-count bottle. This is Walmart's generic version of Unisom, containing diphenhydramine, the same active ingredient. Walmart is discontinuing the large 192-count bottle and keeping only the smaller 100-count bottles. A pharmacy associate told me the large bottles are being phased out across multiple Equate products as part of a packaging standardization initiative. Here's the cost difference. The 192-count bottle costs about $7. That's less than 4 cents per tablet. The 100-count bottle costs $5, which is 5 cents per tablet. To get 200 tablets, you need 2 100-count bottles for $10 versus one 192-count bottle for $7. You're paying 43% more per tablet just because you're buying smaller quantities. Sleep aids are something many people use regularly. Whether it's occasional insomnia, adjusting to schedule changes, or traveling across time zones, having diphenhydramine on hand is useful. And with a shelf life of several years, there's no downside to buying the larger size. I keep a 192-count bottle for household use. It lasts about 2 years. At $7, it's incredibly cheap insurance for getting decent sleep when you need it. But once this size disappears, I'll be forced into smaller, more expensive bottles. Last week, I bought 2 192-count bottles. That's a 4-year supply for $14. If I had to buy 100-count bottles over the same period, I'd spend about $20. Storage is easy. Keep the bottle in a cool, dry place away from light and moisture. Medicine cabinets work fine, though I prefer a bedroom drawer to avoid bathroom humidity. Stock levels are already sparse. Most stores have only a few bottles left, if any. Generic sleep aids are one of those products that fly under the radar until you need them and they're suddenly unavailable. If you use sleep aids even occasionally, grab a bottle now. It's a small investment that saves money and gives you peace of mind knowing you've got it when you need it. Product number 14 is great value parchment paper in the 205 square foot roll. All right, number 14 is the last one, and it's for anyone who bakes. Great value parchment paper in the 205 square foot roll. Walmart is discontinuing this size to focus on smaller, pre-cut sheets and shorter rolls. I learned this from a baking aisle stocker who said corporate wants to push customers toward pre-cut sheets because they have higher profit margins. Here's what that means for you. The 205 square foot roll costs about $8. Pre-cut parchment sheets cost about $6 for 30 sheets. Each sheet is roughly 2 square feet, so 30 sheets equals 60 square feet. To match 205 square feet, you need over 3 boxes of pre-cut sheets, costing around $18. You're paying more than double for the same amount of parchment just because it's pre-cut. I use parchment paper constantly. Baking cookies, roasting vegetables, lining cake pans. It's non-stick, easy cleanup, and way better than greasing pans. A 205 square foot roll lasts me about a year. But soon, I'll be forced to either buy smaller rolls more frequently or switch to expensive pre-cut sheets. Neither option saved me money or hassle. Last week, I grabbed 205 square foot rolls. That's 2 years of supply for $16. If I had to buy pre-cut sheets instead, the same amount of parchment would cost me around $36. Here's the reality. Parchment paper doesn't go bad. It's just paper treated with silicone. Store in a dry place, and it'll last indefinitely. I keep mine in a kitchen drawer. Easy to access whenever I'm baking. Current stock is disappearing fast. I've checked 5 stores, and only 2 still had the large rolls in stock. Once they're gone, you're stuck with the smaller, more expensive options. If you bake regularly, this is a no-brainer. Grab at least 1 roll, maybe 2 if you bake frequently. You'll save money and avoid the annoyance of running out and having to buy overpriced alternatives. Look, here's the bottom line. Walmart is quietly phasing out 14 products that offer genuine value, and they're doing it to push you into more expensive alternatives that boost their profit margins. Every single item on this list is getting harder to find, and some will be completely gone by March. These aren't conspiracy theories. These are confirmed phase-outs from store managers, distribution staff, and corporate insiders who see the inventory changes happening in real time. If even 2 or 3 of these products are things you use regularly, it's worth a trip to Walmart this week to stock up before they're gone. The money you'll save over the next year or 2 by buying at current prices, instead of being forced into expensive alternatives, is real. We're talking hundreds of dollars, depending on your household size and usage. If this video helped you, smash that like button so I know to make more content like this. Subscribe because I'll be tracking which stores still have stock on these items and posting updates. And drop a comment telling me which of these 14 products you're grabbing first. Next week, I'm revealing the 5 Walmart clearance sections that nobody checks, but they're absolute gold mines for finding discontinued products at 50% off. You're not going to want to miss that one.